Take your look, you look completely different, man. You gain weight.
Not at all.
Yeah, you gain weight.
How you doing, brother?
How you doing?
All right.
Do you gain weight because of
Nah,
you're
I
home
gain-
now? You're eating now. You're eating a lot of food.
Not at all. Eat a lot of pussy.
Last time you were here, you told me that you could deadlift and all that. I doubt you could do that now. You look like you.
I'll go to the gym and find out.
You don't have. You look different.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, brother. What's going on? What's on your mind? Let's get to the nitty gritty.
Do you live with anything? Do you regret anything that you've done?
I live with regret, but I don't let it beat me down.
How do you fight the regret?
By combating it by doing positive things.
I asked your brother earlier. You guys are up in age, so you guys are, a little tired, but
I'm 29, man.
the joke of the light. I asked your brother this earlier. How you don't let the regret beat you down by staying positive? Do you feel that the word positive is being used loosely as well?
I don't think it's being loosely, but what I do is it's about redemption. All right, I made some poor choices. Do I regret the choices? Of course. But you don't dwell on it. You have to move forward. And you let your actions speak. Because you can say I'm doing positive things all day, and you're not. It's your action. So your action will speak for itself.
Your actions speak louder than words.
Fact.
We heard your story. Your brother, definitely he's running. We're gonna get him to run for city council or whatever we're trying to do. But we heard your story before, and how do you feel about murder?
Murder? I mean, you're taking another person's life. You're taking someone's loved one. At that time, I wasn't well educated. I lived by a code, right? So that's how I handled things. It wasn't about the consequences. I didn't look at you as another human being because I didn't look at myself like a human being, right? I took on a lifestyle, and that's what I became. So living in that life, you do things, you don't give it no second thought. But I do know this. I took the life of someone's son, someone's father, someone's brother. I could never give that back. So the only thing I could do is try to honor that person by doing right, by helping in the community, to show that that person's death wasn't in vain. I could never bring them back. That could never happen. And people forget that they loved one was in the same lifestyle I did. You wasn't coming home from work. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it right at all. So I have to live with that.
Is there any? So in society, murder is deemed wrong. When does somebody get a pass for killing somebody? When do you get a pass?
Is it ever a pass for taking someone's life?
I mean, if somebody hurt your family or hurt your daughter or mother, you catch them in the act.
I went to prison because someone kidnapped my brother, right? But that's what you have the police for. They have a job to do, right? But
understood.
I took the law into my own hands.
You told that story. Somebody kidnapped your brother before. I remember on the show.
So if I took the law into my own hands, I had to pay for that crime, right? Same way I went to trial, that person could have went to trial. His mother paid her taxes, as you asked that question earlier, right?
Yeah.
She did call the police. But the way I was living, what do you call the police for? Right? So now, two wrongs didn't make it right. My brother's here. The person is gone.
So you don't believe in you. So now that you learn, you think that murder should not be committed.
The government send people to murder people every day when they go to the army, right? When they go to so-called these conflicts,
That's true.
right? And that's okay. But those people come back with trauma, and they're not being helped,
PTSD.
right? And this is something that we deal with coming from prison as well. So you have to find that outlet. So I go to therapy to understand that it's never going to be right, Flip. Murder
We sticking on
that I did, right? It could never be right. The only thing I can do, like I said, is keep continuing to do. I paid my debt. Keep moving forward. Whatever you do in life, I don't look back. I move forward, right? So that family got to live with what I've done.
Real quick, you mentioned earlier that the family seemed to forgot. Do you think that family? You said the family seemed to forgot that their son lived a life,
Right.
a certain life. Is the positive side of you trying to? Is the positive side of you trying to understand what the family's going through, or in all reality, if you wasn't on this positive journey, you would think that they should accept the fact that their loved one was in a certain life and had to face a consequence?
I don't ask them to accept it now. But what I do ask them to do is look at the whole picture. Don't let their emotions supersede what happens out there. They was coming after me as well as I was coming after them, right? If the shoe's on the foot, my family would be feeling the same way probably.
Mm-hmm. Respect.
Right? So I do understand it. I do understand that in order to get past it, we have to have a conversation. Not throwing, you gonna kill me, right? Because I'm not gonna kill you. I don't want to kill another person that look like me. I don't want to kill anyone, but I realize when you look back, all I did was hurt people that look like me and you.
You told me that last time.
So what is it gonna do? Killing me, what is it gonna bring him back? Right? Is it?
No.
So what I ask is that we move forward by stopping those young brothers and sisters that's out there doing the same thing. We show them a way.
Now, this is a little personal question. In movies, we see that when somebody commits a crime, murder or something, the scene plays off in their head. A couple of minutes ago, you said you go to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever crime you did, does it play off? And I'm not accusing you of anything. Does it play in your brain? Do you think about it? Do you see faces? Does it replay?
It always replay. It's not a day go by that I don't think about what I've done. That's what keeps me grounded. Knowing that I was able to do what I've done and slept, it was something wrong with me. Right? That's how you gotta look at it. It was something wrong with me. To not it bothered me. So today, I realized that I was dealing with something. I didn't know how to grieve. I didn't know how to express myself. So I got angry. When you confused, you ever been confused in life, right? Something happened, and you get confused, and the thing, next you know, you fight.
You react.
Right?
Okay.
So that's how my life was. I just reacted to things. I never thought it through. I never thought that what I did had that ripple effect. Not just on the victim's family, but on my family as well as my community. My community get a bad rap. Every time we've done something, our community's take a bad rap. And it's good people in our community. Right? They're hardworking people.
Yeah.
But my action sticks out. Why? Same thing like I said in that movie, that split second. If you take time to think, you wouldn't do a lot of things that you've done.
But how do you how do you get over? Because it's like PTSD.
Yes.
How do you get over it? Talking about it helping you? Do people need somebody to talk to in order to get over it, or do you think that you can ever get over something like that?
I recommend therapy. In our community,
But isn't therapy just somebody that just listens?
of course. But and when you go in that session, they bound by law to keep what we said. Me and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
For instance, me and you could talk about something. You share something with me.
Mm-hmm.
We fall out 9 times out of 10. I'm telling your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
It happens. It happens to you, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you trust people? In our community, seeking therapy is like a weakness, right? That's how we do it, is a weakness. But it's a strength. The weakness is hiding in ignorance, not getting help, thinking you could do it yourself, thinking you could self-medicate. You could smoke, sniff, drink, but once that wear off, you're still in the same mindset. Now, let me ask you. You said it plays out, right?
You're asking me a question now.
Yeah. I'm interrogating you.
Yeah.
I offer you a job and tell you I'm going to pay you a penny for 30 days and double. I'm going to give you $1 million for that same job, for that same 30 days worth of work. How would you want to get paid? The penny or the $1 million?
Say the question again. Sorry.
I got a job for you.
Job for me.
It pays $1 million.
$1 million.
You got to work for 30 days.
30 days.
Or I'll give you the penny and double each day for that 30 days. How would you take your payment?
I'm confused by the question.
Wow.
You would give me a penny and it doubles each days for 30 days?
Yes.
Or you can give me $1 million?
Right.
I'll take the pennies.
Okay, right. Why you took the pennies?
I don't know. Oh, shit.
Well, the pennies is right now. You took a second to think about the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people want to get paid $1 million, that fast choice. But that penny, after 30 days, it averaged $5 million in change. Right? And all it is taking that second to think. If we take that second to think, we don't make most of the decisions we made. It's those impulsive decisions that cause us harm. Right? That's why I said, man, we can't be like this lights or these cameras. Somebody else control them. They push the button to turn it off and turn it on.
What do you think about? So you recommend therapy, real quick. A lot of people in the community go. You recommend therapy for the children and just people in general to get over things. What do you think about the day and age of recording? Everybody pulling out their phones. How does that make you feel?
Well, let's look at it this way. It didn't help Rodney King, though, right?
Did it help Rodney King?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, it didn't.
When the police whooped his ass, right? They got acquitted. He got on video tomorrow. Let's all just get along.
No, don't.
No, but for real, right?
Don't make fun of that, man.
No, but that's what happened, right?
I don't remember.
So
Yes.
in today's time, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because we didn't have the video, cops get away with a lot more than what they're getting away with. If we didn't have the video, a lot of these ignorant people get away with what they was getting away with, hurting innocent people and all that. So now the cops is a check and balance thing. Now before they do something dumb, they supposed to follow their rules, right? Most of them now follow their guidelines, most of them. So there you go. So it's a blessing and a curse. Right? If you're doing something wrong, you don't want the cameras. If you're in the right, you don't care if they recording or not. But what I don't like is why people is filming some innocent person is getting hurt and you just pulling out your video instead of trying to stop it.
Why don't people help others during things like that? Why are people so quick to record instead of springing into action? You'll say.
Because fear. And sometimes you spring into action and you the one getting in trouble. Right? But how do we stand by something y'all said earlier with the COs, right? And it goes to this. To silently witness an injustice make you just as guilty as the person that's doing it. That's the answer. If I'm on a train and somebody's molesting a young lady and I'm just recording it, I'm just as guilty as that person that's molesting that person.
So they both should get in trouble. Or hurt.
I mean, who am I to say what should happen?
Do you agree about the CEO thing that you heard discussed earlier?
Do I agree with it? I spent 31 years in the penitentiary, right? And I crossed some sadistic ass people that wore them uniforms.
Worse than the prisoners?
Well, the prisoners is just serving time. You come to work. You chose that profession. How do you come to work to want to jump on someone because they're in your prison? Attica, for instance. They always had a thing because of the 71 riot. So now every cop in there think they have something to prove.
What happened in the 71 riot? I'm not familiar with that story.
And the prisoners overtook the jail because of the conditions that they was in, right? And I think it was 13 officers got killed. But they got killed by their own officers, not by the prisoners. But the point is,
how they got killed by their own officers?
Because the governor ordered them to take back the jail, so they started shooting in the yard. But let me say this, right? Those brothers in the 71 riot fought to better the conditions for the prisoners that was there and the prisoners that was to come. And we gave back everything they fought so hard for, right? Because we are not unified. We are separated. There's thousands of us and hundreds of them. And we are afraid. And so yeah, that's how I look at it. They was afraid to come together, to unify. Right? We always find, I don't fuck with Flip. He's a clown. Why? We're under the same conditions. But I want to knock you to make myself look good. They say a crab in a barrel mentality, right? But why do we think the crabs are pulling each other down? How we know they're not pulling each other up? To get them out of that bucket. Why look so much to take you down and not lift you up, not support your platform? Because you laugh or joke. That's who you are. Well, I can't see the good. Why am I looking for something at fault? We all have faults. We're not perfect. We're human beings. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make poor choices. So why don't see the good in my brother? See, that's the thing, man. So it's how you live this life. Right? Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not promised. Today is God's gift, the present. This is a present from God that we're in front of each other.
Amen.
So that's how we gotta live it.
When real quick, let's just go back a little bit to how many people were killed in the 71 riot?
13, I believe, 13 officers and civilians.
A couple of civilians were killed? Yeah. But they took the prison back. How long it took them to take the prison back?
September 9th to September 13th, they came in and took the prison back.
And nobody tried to escape.
It wasn't about that. It was about wanting better conditions.
Was Attica, they have a lot of stories about Attica. Was it really a bad prison?
It's still a bad prison. The worst prison in New York State.
Attica.
Yes.
And what makes it worse?
The officers.
Which prison got shut down? Which prison was shut down?
The prison was shut down.
There was a prison that I heard that was open back in the days, but it got shut down. Was it Attica? Attica ever got shut down? No.
I mean, shutdowns happen every day in prisons. They lock us down. So they call a shutdown.
So
But I mean,
so the officer,
Baltimore closed some jails, but
so
Attica's still open.
the COs feel like they have something to prove, so they go to the extra. They go to the extreme.
Yeah.
Have you ever? Pardon me. Have you ever liked any COs?
I respect COs. Some.
You respected
But
some.
as far as liking, I don't think I said I like them. I respect them. They respect me. I respect them.
Have you ever harmed a CO?
Nah. I fought, but they fought me. Attica. So it is. They assault. I got assault on staff. That was it.
You got stabbed by a CO?
No, I got assaulted by a CO.
But you said stabbed.
No, I said assaulted. Stab. Who's gonna stab me for? We fought. They jumped me.
How many of them?
They won.
How many of them jumped you? Do you remember?
The squad. How many of them respond to the red dot? All I know is hands and feet and sticks was on me, man.
When do they stop hitting?
When they get tired. When they get tired.
In prison, do prisoners help each other if a CO is attacking, or they stay out of it?
Nah, it used to be a time where if they stop one person, the whole line stop. What happened now is what you're a part of. But if you carry yourself like a gentleman for the most part, depending on what jail you're in, they treat you like a gentleman. That's all it is, bro. Prison is not a walk in the park, but it ain't hell either. It's how you carry yourself. I wouldn't recommend it for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Holiday Inn. It's not the Marriott. But it's how you carry yourself.
When do somebody, I asked your brother this earlier, when does somebody get a pass for trying to hurt you? How far would they have to go before the pass is revoked?
Let me say this, right? Do you pray?
It's not about me.
No, I'm asking, do you pray?
But this is not about me, though. Yeah.
Actually, it's about all of us.
I think he's going to say that. Yeah, I pray.
Okay, so when you pray, we ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
So how can I ask for forgiveness if I don't forgive someone?
If you're not willing.
Right? If I'm not willing to forgive, right?
But I'm asking you that how far does a person, when does the forgiveness get off the table? Say if somebody tries to cut you and not successful, or attempts to shoot you and not successful, and they come and want peace.
They can have peace. That's what I want. Listen, man, let me explain something. I ask people to forgive me for what I've done. And I've done some stuff.
Well, who do you ask to forgive you? I know you meant, do you speak?
I spoke to people that I harmed their relatives, right? And I spoke to dudes that I harmed them, right? Dudes spoke to me that harmed me. We ain't friends, but we not enemies either. What happened, happened. I could live with it. Can they live with it? See, the point is this. I forgave myself. I am 100% confident in the person I am. Mm-hmm. I don't walk in fear. Because whatever happened to me is God's will. So I can forgive you for trying to harm me. That's how it is, bro.
So you can forgive someone for trying to harm you.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you attempted to talk to people that you harmed before.
Yes.
And is this a way for you to get over your guilt? Do you feel guilty?
I don't feel guilty about anything I've done. What is it to feel guilty about? I acknowledge my wrong. I was tried in court and was convicted. I forgave myself. So for me to be guilty? For what? What I've done is wrong. Me feeling guilty, me beating myself up, is not going to bring that person back. I have to live a life and continue to move forward in order to pass that message on to the next person. Right?
Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do that. Because you're going to say, let me tell you something. Go ahead.
No. Right? Let's look at it this way.
Oh, you said a new word. Okay.
Let's look at it this way. There was a commercial when I was growing up. It was a car commercial. And then it became a commercial about life. It was two dummies in the car and they rammed the car into the wall.
Okay.
At the end, there's a slogan that said you can learn a lot from a dummy. Well, I'm that crash dummy. You can learn a lot from me by not making the same choices that I've done. You got two young men in this studio.
Yes.
Right? And if they look at this back and say, you know what? I'm not going to do that. Right? You set yourself on fire right now and burn up, you get third-degree burns. You think they're going to throw gasoline or something on them and set themselves on fire?
No.
Because they seen it from the dummy. Right? So therefore, what I'm saying is that
was kind of reckless.
Yeah. And that's what my life was, reckless. And that's the lifestyle. If you think that you can reinvent the wheel, then you're insane. You're insane.
When guys like you come home from doing so many years, what do you recommend to keep you guys sane and not going back into the field?
What field?
The streets. Looking back. What could... Because a lot of people that come out end up going back. There's a high rate of that, of coming home and going back to prison. I think some people feel more... I don't know if this is true, but I heard that some people said that they feel more comfortable in prison than out on the street.
Ain't nobody say that.
So that's
You heard somebody say that?
I've never heard
You
somebody
seen
say
that on Shawshank, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption, yeah.
Let me say that. Like you like to say, let me say this too. Right? People, places, and things. If you change the people and you change the place, you get yourself. I shout about the most important thing is educating yourself. I've been away 3 decades. I'm still learning about a phone. I don't think I'm ever going to get that right. But I'm not lost in time. And I was smart enough to realize that I was in over my head. So I went and sought help. I have a good foundation. I have a great foundation. I have great people around me that supports me. Whether it's financially, emotionally, whatever, they there to support me. Right? They there to support me. A lot of people don't have that. I was recently at parole. I had a family and friends thing. Right, when I went to parole, I had a family and friends day.
Okay.
My lady came with me, right, with a panel. And there was a few other people there. And I told them, like, I did 30 years. And you kicked me out of prison. Housing is scarce. Jobs is scarce for people, for formerly incarcerated people. You tell me I need a drug program and an anger program. Never used drugs in my life. Anger I can go with because that's all I knew.
Based off of the crime.
Based off of my actions.
Okay.
Right? So, you didn't give me, when I get on the train, I'm sweating. You said I had PSD, right?
PTSD. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even realize it. But brothers that come home from jail, sisters that come home from jail, I think that parole should help them get therapy to help you make that transition. I did 31 years and you kicked me out of jail. If I didn't have the foundation that I had, I would have been lost. So because you get lost, you get confused and you start making poor choices, but those are the choices you're comfortable with. Because that's all you know. Because all you did in prison was what brought you from prison. I used to tell dudes, you always talking about you want to go home, but you're doing shit that doesn't show you want to go home. I realized, like, going through therapy, I found out what was the cause of all my troubles. And it was because I didn't know how to deal with grief. I didn't know how to deal with my grandmother's death because nobody taught me how to grieve. Nobody explained to me death. So we have to find out what traumatic experience that you went through that put you on this course. So we can identify what triggered you, then we can fix you. We can help you make better choices. If you understand what brought you to prison, you don't do it. You don't go back. You don't go back. Thank you. So that's it. Man, he was sitting here having us in the studio with no water, right?
Yeah, please. So,
Yes.
they recommend therapy. Is it part of the?
They don't recommend therapy. I recommend it.
So, how are you able to get to therapy? Your parole?
No, I went and did it on my own. I found out. I knew I needed something, and I knew that can't trust a person, just anybody, what was going on. So, when I was inside, I used to go to mental health. Dude, like, yo, why you go there? Why you go there? See, I was on to something. I didn't know what, but I knew that this person wouldn't tell my business in the yard. So I had to find the same thing out here. Somebody I could confide in that's going to keep my dark secrets to themselves. And when I identify what was going on, I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to share. So I can help someone else not go through what I went through. Not cause someone else's family a bunch of grief. I did that interview with you, and somebody came on my Instagram page and said they're going to kill me because I killed their cousin. And I said to them, why would you throw your life away? It's not going to bring him back. And I apologize. It may not be enough to that young man. This may not be. But I don't walk in fear.
They wrote that in your Instagram?
Yeah.
On the page or in the store, in your DM?
In this page. But the point is, I told you this before.
Did you do your research?
For what? Only people gonna harm me is what God wants to harm me. I could live with that, Flip. I fear no man. I fear no man. So if it was meant for me, if that's God's plan, so be it. If it's gonna satisfy that young man to kill me and throw his life away, He got a hell of a way to go, man. He gonna go to prison for what? Because somebody gonna tell him. There's cameras everywhere.
Did you try to message him and talk to him?
I told him, I said, listen, man, I wouldn't throw my life away like that. If I had it all over the world again, I wouldn't throw my life away. I wouldn't have.
So the interview you did with me brought it to his attention.
They knew I was home. I hear things. I got people in the street. I know dudes want to kill me. I'm not running.
Have you seen anybody that wanted to harm you? Have you seen them face to face?
I've seen a few people that act like they wanted to do something to me. But when I approached them, everything was good. And I'm good with that.
What do you mean act like? How can somebody act like they want to do something?
Because you want to do something, you're not broadcasting it. You just do it. I told you, Flip. Instagram, all these things gave people platforms. Right? And I watch your show. And a lot of dudes got beef with people. And a lot of dudes come up here and tell you how they going to do this with somebody when they catch them. They're going to do this and do that. They don't really want to do nothing. They want a conversation. And I'm open for discussion anytime somebody want to come and talk to me. Because I don't want no problems. I'll sit here and tell you, I don't want a problem with nobody. I want to enjoy my life. I just was in Little Italy, man. I just was. It's beautiful. I mean, here it is. I was living in New York all this time and never realized how beautiful it was. Me and my lady sitting there, eating, enjoying life. Enjoying life.
So, somebody said that they wanted to hurt you. People, and you approach these people, and they don't. What do they?
I didn't approach. When I did approach the persons, it came out to be good. Beautiful conversation on both our parts. We both walked away satisfied.
Was it a positive conversation?
I believe it was. Neither one of us was aggressive. We both wanted an understanding on the issue. And we both got an understanding on the issue.
So, I guess time cannot heal wounds.
Why can't it?
Because people, you've been gone for, 31 years, and people still want to get at you.
I don't even think that young man was old enough to realize what was going on at that time. Right?
Okay.
So, you hear stories.
Because, let's real quick, I did go through my comment section, and people knew who you were. You and your brother.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are still outside, and guys are like, you seem to be enjoying yourselves. You went to Little Italy. Got a haircut at John Gotti's barbershop.
Boy, here we go.
You know, is that true? That's what you were talking about earlier.
I mean, hey man, listen, I was in Little Italy. Let's put it that way. So what's the question?
So I'm saying, you've been time. They say that time heals all wounds, correct? But obviously, that these people are not healed. If you said that numerous people, because I did read the comments and I did see that people,
Okay, so
want to know who you are and feel away.
time heals all wounds. You saying, right?
That's what I heard. I don't.
Okay.
You would know.
In order to heal, you have to have closure. I don't believe that brother had closure. I believe he got questions he want to ask. But we let ego and ignorance get in the way. I was the same way.
It's okay.
I was the same way. So why get upset?
Why is ego deemed dangerous? Why can't ego be positive? I have a big ego. I mean, I learned my lesson. I'm learning my lesson. A lot of things going on, but why can't having a big ego be positive, in your opinion?
Said Michael Jordan had a big ego.
That is true.
LeBron have a big ego. That's what makes them the best, right? But they channel it into something positive. In our community, for some reason, we deal with the ego.
Mm-hmm.
We take on a persona and we try to live up to it. So if I tell you to stay in your lane, it becomes a negative thing. You don't look at it like, yo, he telling me stay focused. I got this podcast going for me. I got this going for me. I got that going for me. But because I said, stay in your lane, you jumped over the table and slapped the shit out of me.
Oh.
So you lose your sponsorship. You lose your following. Was it worth it?
What else do I lose?
That's it, man. You know, now maybe you called me 30 years ago, something different. But, nah, but on the serious note, right?
Oh, jokes, yeah.
Me. Because I didn't understand the consequences of my actions.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I thought I got away with something, I wanted to do something bigger. So that's what ego becomes about. Then I become untouchable. Right? So one of the things, my favorite pastime is reading. I used to read a lot of Western books, and dudes like, yo, why you reading that? Of course, what is it? A horse, a gun, women. If you ever read Western, and they smoke. I don't smoke, but and they drink. So this is the whole thing, right? This was the concept, and this was the thing I chose to read. Because, but the one thing they did, they had principle. You didn't call a man a coward. Right? You didn't mess with another man's woman.
Mm-hmm.
If you strapped on that gun, you lived by that gun. They had a core belief system. That's what's missing today. A core belief system in a lot of us. Right? Most of us dress crazy. They have these pants that's so tight it cut off your circulation. But that's the style. When I was growing up, it was bell bottoms, right? Or boot cut. Right? So that's how they express themselves. I had to learn to respect these young men dress code. Respect them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard. But I realized this could be my son, my brother, my nephew. Right? I had to identify what gets them through. Flip. We get so caught up into what the next person is doing that I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. That's why we got a lot of the thing that goes on today. Because I'm so worried about what you're doing. I'm in your pocket. I'm counting what you getting. I think what you doing is so easy that I can do it. And what happens with you, you get caught up in it. So you get riled up because you think they trying to play you. And all that person really doing is admiring you. And you just don't see it because you let that ego get in the way. Instead of extending the hand. Teach that brother. Teach him.
How do you guys come home from prison and get all these jewelry?
Oh, man. Oh. told you I got a very good support system, right? I got a brother out here. He did the whole bid with me. Right. From around my way. Beautiful brother. Took care of my mother when she was alive. My sisters, you know. Always was there for me. But him and my mother was like this. And when I came home, he's like, yo, here. My man Bird. Beautiful brother. And he has always been there. I had another friend named Bubby. 31 years. These is true day ones. Now, they knew how I lived. So to come home, they wanted me to be comfortable. So it was like, yo, this is for you. You know, I got a brother named Derek. You know, he owns cars. Yo, here, take this. Whenever you want it, just come and get it.
Because you pulled it out earlier, you seem like you have them hidden now. Is there a reason?
Always wear it inside. Hey, let me just say this to you, Flip. All right. I have no one to impress but myself. But I also know you have to have paraphernalia to be accepted in certain circles, right? You have to look the part to be the part.
Pay the cost to be the boss.
Right? So I don't give how much jewelry you have. You open your mouth, you sound like a damn fool. So it might as well be slum, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is just something that keeps people eye on you. So when I do open my mouth, I keep their attention. These young men that I go speak to, this gets me their audience. Then when they hear the story, they hook. See, this is my bait. This is my bait. That's all it is.
This may come off as offensive. Do you consider yourself a killer?
No. I consider myself someone that had pulled the trigger to cause someone a death. So
is it true? Is it true that men that do certain crimes are not accepted in certain prisons or don't get passed? What crimes that are done that doesn't get you a pass?
you seen the documentary When They See Us?
Yes.
Now, you see how the young man was treated.
Your man was what?
You see how they treated him,
Yes.
right? And then you kind of find out years later he didn't do it. He was telling people he never did it. So I say that to say this: it's not for me to choose.
That was a very answer that I'm not looking for. Crimes that are committed, whether men hurt women, girls,
all right,
those type of crimes, is it true that those guys that get convicted of sick crimes like that gets hurt in prison? Or that is a myth?
No, that's no myth. But you just seen it. They jumped on that man because they thought he raped that white woman, right?
Yes.
Let me see. Truly, I took the life of someone. Can't get that back. Why is that okay?
You asking me a question?
Yeah. Why is that okay?
Why is it okay that you took the life of someone?
Yeah, in prison. Why am I okay? Why do I live good in prison? Because I killed somebody? But here's a man that was wrongfully convicted and went through that harsh treatment. Let's say I partook in that treatment because they said he raped somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's exonerated, how do I feel? Because a lot of them was doing it because the police told them to do it. So Now you come years later, you find out this dude was telling truth. So it's not for me to judge. Whatever your crime is, your crime is. Right? Now don't get me wrong. I want to be friends with a pedophile. I don't want him around me. I don't think I would stop anyone that may be jumping on him, especially at that time. I don't think I was mature enough to stop it. But again, I ask God for forgiveness every day, 5 times a day. So how do I look like allowing because someone said something? Now, I'm not going to sit there and watch him molest nobody, right? But you're in prison for your crime. I'm not there for that, man. I'm there to get home to my family. That's simple, man.
How do you feel about President Trump?
Let's look at it this way. The Criminal Reform Act. Trump helped get more people out of prison than any president. I may not like his actions. I may not like he talk. I might not like his policies. Was a person that was in prison, let's look at that. He's not a great man by far. We know that, right? He said some shit that if me and you said it or did. But his policies, I'm not for. I mean, politics is politics. He's saying what they all think. Right? Joe Biden helped write. Joe Biden wrote the crime bill that sent many people to prison for crack cocaine. They don't hear that, right? That changed because crack cocaine was now community, right? You could get caught with a key of coke and get a year because why? It was a clear people's crime. Clear people dealt with that. Us, people of color, dealt with crack. So if I get caught with a key of crack, I get the same amount of time this dude got caught with 5 keys of cocaine. The disproportion. 7 communities in the 5 boroughs is what fills these prisons up. Right? South Jamaica, Queens, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Brownsville, Crown Heights, Lower East Side, Harlem, that area, right? 7 communities, otherwise breakdown. That's what filled the prison population. So we really want to know why these young men and young women is out here like that? Because they took fathers from our community. Why? Because they had a plan. Look at our communities now. It's not predominantly black. They got bike rings in fucking Brownsville. Right? They got clear people in Brownsville where they were scared to walk. It was designed, man. Now they use eminent domain. They use the law to clear this out and take over our communities. So you want to know why? The disparity? Look at the sentencing between a colored person and a clear person. Right? Rape don't get that much time. Why? Because it's a white person's crime. Think about it. When you look at a pedophilia crime, when they do them buses, doctors, lawyers, police chiefs, right? Think about it. So, and you know what it is? It's this illness. Now we got a heroin epidemic. When it was ravishing our communities, it was nothing. As soon as they get in their communities, their kids start ODing, it's an epidemic. This is what it's about, man. So when we gonna wise up? School day said, "Oh, wake up." Wake up. My man Clothesline said, it's stay woke. It says stay woke or stay broke. Right? We got to stay woke.
So, because you're in preaching mode, so let me slow you down. So
Whatever.
President Trump, because of the bill reform, the jail reform, you respect him?
Respect him. I don't respect him at all.
But
I'm just pointing out that
of something positive that he's done.
That's it. That's the only thing I mean. Think about it.
Sorry, Paul.
That's what my concern is. Criminal justice system.
So President Trump has did something positive.
Yeah, for the criminal justice system. Yes.
And what is the Jail Reform Act? What is that?
Well, he's looking at the disparaging of the crack cocaine laws, right? Because that's what filled up the population. 85% of the people in prison is because of the crack epidemic. And he's looking at other stuff. So that's it, man. Let's think about it. Well, other politics, I'm more of a local politics, man. That's what affect my community, not the nation politics, the local. That's what we gotta do. Jews get what they get because they got a voting block. We get what we get because we got nothing. We need a voting block. That's what we need. And then you're gonna start seeing our community get better. That's why we're gonna have our man over there run for city alderman. Because we're gonna make changes, man. We fucked this community up, so let's help build it up.
What change are you trying to make to the community?
I believe that we need more employment, right? They building up. And like I was telling him, my brother, let's get a construction company. Not no coalition, but a real company. And let's build it. If we build it because we fucked it up, now you run for office, we can make a difference. Do you want to make a difference, or do you want to keep living in the same filth? That's the thing. What do you want to do?
Are you asking me a question?
No, I'm asking the guy behind you, man.
I mean, it's not about me.
It is about you.
To answer your question, I definitely want to see the community uplift each other and live in,
Oh, I forgot you grew up in Roxdale, suburbs.
Please, I didn't go to Rochester. I didn't go to Rochester.
I thought you grew up in South Jamaica in the projects or something. My bad.
You didn't go up in the projects, did you?
Nah.
Last question I have for you.
Yes.
Real brother, look at me. Would you allow while you were in prison, right? There's two questions I ask you. Let me ask you just one. While you were in prison, when is it okay for your wife to move on?
When she chooses to.
Can you give us a little more detail than that?
I mean, think about it. If she make that choice, Flip, why am I going to hold on to her? I mean, you don't want to lose her, right?
No.
At all. I think sometimes when you're in prison, we compromise. I think that's the worst thing you could do. So when she want to leave, you should let her go, because if it's truly meant, you'll get her back. She'll come back. She'll come back if it was meant to be. Right? If not, in the flat. It's a hurting feeling, man, when your woman leaves.
Have that ever happened to you?
Did it? Shit crushed me.
While you were in prison?
While I was in prison.
How do you find out that your woman left you?
She stopped coming. Think about it now, the woman that left me was woman enough to come and sit down and tell me she couldn't do it no longer.
She told you to your face?
Yeah. because you knew she could talk to me. I mean, it hurts, man. You know, it hurts.
So they're allowed to move on, in your opinion, whenever they feel. When do you let go, or will you always be hurt? Does it hurt you?
I mean, it don't hurt me to today, but it took a minute, man. It's like, yo, this was your life. This was your routine. And that shit been disrupted. And then you be like, damn, you start hearing, now I only want to play love songs on the fucking radio, right? Like, you like, god damn, right? And one day you wake up and say, okay, I'm through with this wilding and shit, man. You know, you just start hitting the weights harder. You know, you start walking that yard. You start trying to get another girl. You start trying to get your phone book out. You start calling. You start writing letters. You know, you start, dudes introduce you to somebody. You know, you bounce back. It's the same thing out here when your girl leave you, man. Just let them go. I just got kicked out, man. This happens, man.
You got kicked out?
Yeah. Shit happens.
When, now?
Hey, man. You know, shit happens, bro.
You just got kicked out when?
About 2 weeks now.
Did I meet the young lady?
Yeah, I only had one young lady. What the fuck, man? Like, damn, she was right here. When I she kicked me out, what the fuck? Like, yeah, but nah, you know, it's.
What did you do to get kicked out?
I fucked up. We ain't had no deal with no other woman. I just fucked up.
Got you.
Just fucked up, man. Sometimes we do things, man. We don't.
Do you think that because of your PTSD, you should be given a pass and understand it?
Nah, because a lot. But that's a big thing, man. It's like when you come home, you trying to find your way.
Mm-hmm.
Then you think you have everything in order, and you really don't.
Mm.
And like I said, things happen, man. You know, things happen. I mean, a lot of good things happen to me since the show. I had bad things happen to me since the show.
I mean, have anybody seen the show?
Seems like everybody's seen it, right? But it was I don't know, man.
What would you do to get her back? Or do you want her back?
I mean, of course I want her back, but listen, man. Something, like I said, man.
I hear violins right now.
Whatever, man. What's the next question?
She's calling him?
What's the next question, man?
Well, the last question is, how do you expect people to learn from you if it's a dumb question, actually thinking about it. How do you expect people to learn from you if you also had people in your life telling you not to do it and you chose a different path?
Not to do what?
Not to do the stuff you were doing, because I remember you did tell me in an interview that people were telling you, around, like, chill out, but you said that you didn't deal with the death of your grandmother, right? But I'm saying, how do you expect the kids these days, especially with today's society and what's going on, to listen to you and understand? How are you able to get to them?
Today's young men is much smarter than I was. They much smarter, man. I mean, shit they had to go through. I just ask them to do is, man, I'll be consistent.
Have you ever seen a change? Have you ever seen anybody change? Your brother told me earlier, have you seen somebody change their ways after you guys spoke to them?
I mean, I see it all the time, man. I got, since your show, I got a young brother that followed me, live in Delaware. Man, talk, kick it. When he going through stuff, he hit me up on DM. And we vibe, man. We vibe.
So that's your duty, is to help the youth.
I mean, that's why I'm still here. If it wasn't for that, man, law wouldn't have me here. I didn't do 31 years and survive to come out here for nothing. I knew it was a plan. It was God's work. You know, and that's to work with the youth. So, you know, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is, right?
I leave my nose, that's fine. Yeah. Well,